As marketers, we all face this one huge challenge, right? How do we prove that our work does more than just get likes and clicks? How do we actually show that we're moving the needle for the business? Well, in this explainer, we're going to break down exactly how to connect what we do to the one thing that really, truly matters: the bottom line.
Winston Churchill absolutely nailed it with this one. I mean, you can have the most brilliant, beautiful strategy in the world, but if it doesn't get results, it's just a nice idea. It's the outcomes that count.
Okay, let's make this super real for a second. Picture this. Your CFO walks up to your desk and asks, "Hey, what was the ROI on that big project you just wrapped up?" Do you have a solid dollar figure answer ready to go? Or do you start talking about engagement rates and brand awareness? See, that's the exact gap we're going to close today. To really get a grip on why this is so important, we're going to dive into a true story. It's a bit of a cautionary tale, honestly, about a company called iTalent, and it perfectly shows what happens when marketing efforts and real business value aren't speaking the same language.
So here's our main character, if you will, iTalent. They're a software firm and they built this really slick mobile platform. The whole point was to help companies keep their remote employees feeling connected and engaged. Pretty cool, right? And hey, on the surface, everything looked awesome. The clients were happy, their employees were using the platform, the feedback was great. But then the inevitable happened. The executives at these client companies started looking at their budgets, saw this big line item, and asked a very simple, very scary question. Is this thing actually worth what we're paying for it?
And this slide just lays it all out so perfectly. The execs were asking for return on investment. They wanted to see monetary value, real business impact. But what did iTalent have to show them? Engagement surveys, platform usage data, and a bunch of employee likes. It's like they were speaking two completely different languages.
So where did it all go wrong? Why did iTalent's data, which seemed perfectly fine, just completely fall flat with the people holding the purse strings? Well, the problem wasn't really the data they had. It was about what was missing.
So iTalent brings in the cavalry, right? Consultants to help them prove their value. But here's the kicker. The consultants didn't even look at the spreadsheets at first. Their first move was to just start asking some very basic questions. And this was the bombshell question. It wasn't about the features or how cool the platform was. It was about its purpose. Had iTalent, from day one, ever talked to their clients about specific business goals? Things like improving productivity by X% or reducing employee turnover. And as the consultants kept digging, this brutal pattern just kept showing up. Was there any talk about connecting to the business? Nope. Any discussion about creating real business value? Not a chance. Any attempt to link all that engagement to hard business metrics? Again, no. They had completely failed to connect the dots. And this brings us to the absolute core of the issue. Study after study shows that the number one reason marketing programs fail isn't a bad idea or poor execution. It's this: a lack of business alignment right from the very beginning.
Okay, so if that's the big, scary problem, what in the world is the solution? Well, it's a principle that's actually pretty simple, but incredibly powerful. It's all about starting with why.
It means we have to flip the script. We got to stop leading with the what, the cool new campaign idea, the shiny new tool. Instead, the very first thing we do is figure out the why. What is the specific business problem that we are here to solve? Now, to get this right, you have to think about your why on two different levels. First, you've got the payoff need. That's the big picture, strategic stuff, like growing revenue or becoming the market leader. And then you've got the business need. That's the specific, measurable thing you have to change to make that big picture stuff happen. All right, so theory is great, but how do you actually find your why out in the wild? Let's switch gears and get into a really practical toolkit you can start using right away.
So, first up, those payoff needs. Think of them in two flavors. Tactical needs are your short-term goals, the obvious stuff like we need to increase sales this quarter. Strategic needs are the long game, building brand equity, becoming the undisputed industry leader. A great marketing plan has to be playing both games at once.
Now, for the nitty-gritty, pinpointing that specific business need, the metric you're going to move. Well, you can't just guess. You need a clear, honest map of how your company is really performing across the board. And this is an amazing tool for that. It's called the Marketing Performance Facts Model, and it gives you that 360-degree view. You're looking at F for financial performance, obviously, but also A for activity performance. How efficient are we? C for customer performance. Are they happy? Are they staying? And T for talent. Does our team have the right skills? This balanced view is how you find the real opportunities. And here is where it all clicks into place. Your company's big picture strategy tells you which of those facts matter most. So if you're Walmart, a cost leader, your marketing why is all about cost control. If you're a company like Hilti that wins on quality, it's all about customer satisfaction. And for a niche brand like OnePlus, it's about creating that intense brand loyalty. Your why has to serve the grand strategy. So when you put all of these pieces together, when you start with why and you align it with the company's strategy and you focus on a measurable business need, you can do something that is just incredibly powerful. You can completely change the story people tell about marketing. Because that's the end game here, isn't it? It's to shift how marketing is seen in the organization. We stop being a cost center, just an expense on a spreadsheet to be cut, and we become a value driver, a critical engine that is making smart investments to grow the entire business. All right, let's do a quick thought experiment. I want you to just picture the near future, let's say 6 months from today. Imagine you're in that meeting, sitting across from your CEO. After applying these principles, what kind of story are you going to tell? Is it going to be a story about the number of campaigns you ran? Or is it going to be a story about the business problems you solved, the value you created, and the ROI you delivered? Because that, right there, is the final takeaway. It's really time for us to move beyond just tracking our activities. Our real mission, our real challenge, is to start with why and prove that every single thing we do is an investment in driving real, tangible business value.